Dear Lord, please don't let this be true. There are 2 women in a medical field who came out and said that they know somebody who transport bodies. And that person who transport bodies gave them a call and said that Nolan Wells' body was supposed to be face up. This is how they transport him. But in the situation with Nolan Wells, his body was facing down like they were trying to hide something. And that's not all, y'all. I hope this not true. The person who seen Nolan Wells, allegedly, they said that Nolan Wells' body was bruised, battered, and was burnt, y'all. Now, I try to stay away from the ritual stuff, and y'all know I could get in my bag, but I tried to stay away from that type of talk. But I hope this is not true. Now, when we react to these young ladies right here, when I see their facial expression, it don't seem like they playing. It don't seem like they was doing this for clout or anything. It looks like they know something and that call was something real. But before we react to this, y'all make sure y'all get the likes up, hype this video. I want to say condolences to the family. I hope they get down to the nitty gritty and lock these people up, whoever is responsible for the death of Nolan Wells, y'all. Let's get into this video, y'all. Trigger warning. If you are sensitive to the information that we're going to be listening to, please do not watch this video, y'all.
All right, so we want to talk about Nolan Wells today.
So today, we actually know someone that works transporting bodies, human remains, and things like that. So today I got a call from that person, and they were just talking about the body that they
Came across. This was Nolan Wells.
So before knowing all that, he said that the body was mistreated.
Yeah.
It looked abused. It looked like he was tortured. Looked as if he was burnt, maybe.
Where?
Face, body, said he was burnt.
And not only that, his body was mistreated and when they transported him.
So as they were transporting him, he was actually face down. So everyone knows when you're transporting a body, when, you know, only a couple of people work that job, they all know you don't transport the body face down. That's kind of very disrespectful. So you always have them face up. Well, specifically his body whatever reason was face down. And me personally, I took that as disrespect.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to the family.
Yes, definitely.
Because all we know is what they put out
on the internet.
But today, we actually found out a lot about his autopsy without even reading the autopsy.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
I'm so sorry that family have to go through this. Really just...
I want to give our condolences to the family, you know, as a mom or moms.
Grandmothers.
Dads. Family, period. You know, just we give the most prayers to you, and we stand behind you because we know right what really happened.
Right. So,
and at the end of the day, whatever lies those families have covered up, or whatever lies they're trying to cover, we're sorry.
Yeah.
And we're here for you, and we just want you to know that what was seen today
was unacceptable. It's unacceptable, and that's why we want to inform. So what's going on during the transport like that?
Something you can be quiet on
at all.
When you've seen something so heartbreaking as a child, you know, go through something traumatic.
Yes.
It hurts to know that was done to him in the ways that we can't even express.
Right.
And as a person, you should have some type of humanity.
Right.
And I felt like those people who were transporting him did not have humanity in no way, shape, or form. Because if I can feel the way I feel about this situation, just listening to what happened, you also can listen to what happened to this child.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, that is a child that you did that to.
Right.
So this child needs justice. Because we're not going to sleep until he gets it.
At all. And I heard the feds are in Mississippi right now. So justice for Nolan Wells.
No matter what.
Our heart goes out to his mom,
his family,
everybody.
And just know, families, We're coming for you.
Now, I didn't see no signs of AI. I usually can spot AI. And I also don't believe that these sisters is clout chasing. But like Ben Crump said in his press conference today, we need all the information we can get. And if we're wrong, I will come back and say that these sisters was wrong. But I must report on what's going on. Because for John Ledbetter to look at that young man's body, and they had to identify him through his teeth, what does that tell you? Burning a body is something that they did in slavery days. This is something that they did. So, like I said, I try to stay away from them being initiated into some type of thing, and this was a ritual or something. I try to stay away from that. But what these sisters said, I don't think they would make something up like that. I don't think. And she got her scrubs on. So it's not too far-fetched that she knows somebody who transport bodies and gave her a call.
Talk about this Nolan Wells case, because I know you've been following it, and I think that there's a need for more transparency. That's just me. I think the more transparent, the better. The more pressure put on the investigators, I believe, the better. Just like sometimes the more pressure put on our lawmakers, I think the better, to force them to be transparent. At the end of the day, they're all, you and the police, are public servants. Do you disagree with that?
No, I don't disagree with that at all. And you're absolutely right. We deserve more transparency. This family deserves more answers and an understanding about what happened to their beloved child. And right now, we're in this period and in this moment that seems so dark a lot for Black Americans and for Black people, whether it be Nolan Wells here in Memphis, Tyron Johnson, and several other people who've been killed by Trump's task force. Like, it seems literally like there's a war on Black Americans and Black young men in particular. And so more transparency from public servants should be the expectation, I think, of the people in our communities and all across this country right now.
Especially with this, well, not administration, this regime right now. And also the FBI, I believe, is on the ground there as well. And what influence that they might have in this investigation. It's odd that the FBI chose this place and this story to be involved with, to insert themselves in. Strange.
It is strange. And some of the involvement that we've been seeing from this regime in local matters should give all of us pause. And so we have the Unsafe Task Force here in Memphis and Shelby County. But we also saw in a fight against data centers here in Shelby County and DeSoto County in Mississippi that the administration's Department of Justice asked for the court to ignore the Clean Air Act so that Elon Musk XAI could be used to help kill people in Iran. Right? These things are not just strange, they're a usurpation of what a democracy and democratic institutions are supposed to be doing. And honestly, that's why holding the administration, holding people in power accountable in all of these cases matters so much.
Do you have any feeling on how long it took mainstream media a while to get up to speed, but folks on social media, folks in streaming were on this immediately. I just wonder how you feel about the attention that some stories get with certain people, and the attention that some stories don't get because of certain people.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Oftentimes, a lot of the huge media conglomerates are run by billionaires who are controlling and want a particular narrative to be pushed forward. And sometimes our stories break through, and oftentimes that does not happen because they have a very specific lens in which they are trying to get viewers, trying to get subscriptions, trying to get money. And when it comes to Black pain, that is not something that is oftentimes elevated. And we just have to be honest about that, which is why independent media and platforms are so important, because they provide opportunities to break through those media conglomerates and really break to the stories that people need to hear and understand if they are going to see holistically what is happening in our country and how democratic institutions, lowercase d, are failing overwhelmingly communities that have been marginalized and have been oppressed, and also are currently dealing with the travesty and the tragedies that come with systems that fail us over and over again and don't protect us or keep our community safe.
Someone in the comment section, thank you very much. I would assume that to be true, but saying the island is federal, and perhaps that's why the FBI is there. But I would think, the investigation is being handled in Jackson County, and that's not federal.
I'm not too sure about that portion, but I do think we have to watch what and when this administration gets involved, because people will use their privilege to silence the truth. And we've seen that happen over and over again by Donald Trump over the years. And we need to be skeptical and conscientious to that.
The coach of Nolan Wells, who is a black man, said he didn't believe that there was any racial tension at the school. But does that, I don't know how that equates to what happened on the island.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is wherever you have people, there are going to be tensions. And at times you could have a situation where a coach may not see things, but a student is feeling it. You know, I've attended schools that have been white majority, and you could say that there weren't racial tensions, but there were people who would say things, would do things, you know, stick bananas on your door, write the N-word in the bathroom. And that doesn't mean that that's everyone, but to just say there's a place where there's no racial tension, where racism does not exist. That's not this country. And that's not the socialization of people who are in this country, whether they be 18 years old or 88 years old. Now, if you went to an anti-racist school and they did anti-racist training at that school, that's one thing, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. And so I think it's too soon to say that had nothing to do with what has happened to Nolan. And I think it's the responsibility of everyone to be on the side of the family, on the side of his community, and fighting for justice for him against what has happened, because he's gone and he should not be.
I'm not trusting nobody who knows Nolan Wells and skip over Nolan Wells' parents to go straight to the news to try to deter everyone from thinking about race. I'm not trusting none of them people. I don't care if we share the same skin complexion.
We're joined by Tennessee State Representative Justin Pearson here as we await. There's a press briefing that's going to happen now. The Wells-Wansley family and also Benjamin Crump, attorney, meeting with the DA. I would assume as we speak, and they're going to come out to that microphone and tell us what they heard, what they could share with us, and how that meeting went. So, what has stood out to you? What do you have most concerns about? I know you have some questions. I have questions about, well, where was the young lady that he was supposedly stayed back with? Why haven't they spoken to her? A lot of people are coming out speaking and said, you know, they're giving, I believe, very important information. And when the reporter or the anchor says, have you been interviewed? Have you been contacted by law enforcement? They say, no. What?
Yeah. And that's frustrating, right? When sometimes the media accounts that you're getting from people who are proximate to this young man are more than what seems to be being sought after by the law enforcement officers. So I think in this moment, what I am looking for is the same thing the families are looking for, are answers from the people who were near him, the young adults who were there in his last day, his last moments of life, and to hear what happened. Because this isn't just about Nolan's story, although it's so important. There are so many other Black children and Black communities that have suffered from these disappearances, from these losses of life, without any answers being given. And unfortunately, it's too many to count. And right now, I believe that all of those folks need to be interviewed to get a full picture of what has happened and who is accountable. And that isn't to put blame on the people or the kids that he was with, the young people he was with. But the truth of the matter is something happened. And there isn't a lot of folks coming forward about what those consequences in those instances were. Kids lawyering up and their parents telling them to get lawyers as the first thing raises a lot of red flags, where I think most people would be in mourning and grieving in a very particular way, in my mind. That doesn't seem to be happening in this case. And the fact that parents are already asserting, okay, what privileges do we have that we can exercise to protect our children, without really seeming to understand the full weight of the grief of Nolan's family and what they could be doing to help them. It concerns me.
It has been 11 days since the passing of Nolan Wells. Now, something they did speak about was the first 48, which is the most important time frame when you're gathering clues and you're trying to solve a case. If it's taking you this long to give us any type of information, we're allowing the criminals to get away and take the evidence and do whatever they want to it. Any information that's in the phones or anything, any fingerprints or anything, just by you saying, oh, I didn't expect any foul play. What are we doing here? But Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe, hype this video up, get this information out there so our people can be knowledgeable about how evil people are that's around them, man. Big Kish signing out. I'm going, y'all.